Hey there, and welcome back to the next video in the Baby Registry series. In this one, I'm going to be covering some stuff you might need for bath time with baby. So let's start with bathtubs. The one we received is from Boone, and I really like this bathtub because it's collapsible, which means it travels well, and it's also great for small spaces. The tub has two folding legs for it to stand on, and the drain plug changes color so that if the water's too hot, the plug itself changes color. So it's also built so that it can accommodate babies from the time that they're a newborn up until 18 months, which I also really like that option. In reality, though, we were only able to use it for about a year when Theo started to learn to stand up and try to get out of the tub. Regardless of that, I would still recommend this bathtub very highly. Another bathtub that's out there that is super popular is this one that kind of has like a mesh looking back. In order to use this tub, you actually have to fill up your bathtub with water and then place it inside. And so the holes in the back of it allow the water from the bathtub to come up. And although it gets really good reviews, I personally didn't really like this bathtub. I felt like the Boone was a little bit safer. And on top of that, it's less wasteful. The Boone or really any other kind of like baby bathtub doesn't require you to fill up your whole tub just to bathe like a tiny little baby. It seems wasteful of water. All right, so as far as shampoos and lotions, we have used quite a variety. And I would definitely say to stay away from anything that has any fragrance in it. It seemed like for us, it was a catalyst for Theo's eczema flare-ups. In particular, one bad lotion, I think it's a pink one, squeezy pink one from Johnson & Johnson. And the washes slash shampoos and lotions that we always did well with were from Aveeno, even though technically that one's not fragrance free. CeraVe is another one, and Pipette. To treat Theo's cradle cap, we used the foaming shampoo from Estella, and then we used this little brush from Frida Baby, but I know like there's all kinds of dupes for this particular brush, just like a soft silicone, soft bristles to really kind of loosen up that cradle cap. And I do want to mention the Aveeno lotion in particular is so good. Like it's really good on my dry cracked knuckles. So I highly do recommend that you put the Aveeno baby lotion on your registry. Also, register for lotions that have pumps. Whenever you go to use a lotion that's like a squeezing kind, it's more likely that you're going to need a second squeeze, but your hands are already covered in lotion, so you're getting the bottle dirty and it's just more hassle. So try to register for ones that have pumps. Also, if you're like my husband and you hate the feeling of lotion on your hands, there are several companies now that are making moisturizing balms in a stick form. It kind of looks like a deodorant and you put it all over baby's body. That works just as well at moisturizing baby, but also keeping your hands nice and clean. I also really like using these on Theo's face because if I try to go in with my hands and put lotion on his face, he often starts to get like really fussy and move around. So these balms, he's actually really interested in kind of licking it, but it gets the job done better, I think. So up next are washcloths, and this is definitely an optional item for your registry because really you could just use whatever washcloths you already have. However, we did register for some, and the ones we got have gotten a lot of use, not just in the bath, but outside of the bath too. We received one set that's nice and thick, but really soft, and it has a little loop on it so you can hang it to dry. I think those are really, really perfect for bath time because they're nice and soft and thick. And another set that we got, they're a lot thinner. They work fine for bath time too, but recently we've been using them as alternatives to using napkins, like paper napkins or paper towels. They've just been so handy as something else to clean up with that isn't going to the garbage. I've also been using them to clean the humidifier with, and I also, when my son was wearing his helmet, I would use one of them to wipe down his helmet every day. So they got a lot of use and it was great. So I'm glad I registered for them, but like I said, they are optional. And just like washcloths, a baby hooded towel is also optional because again, you can just use whatever towels you have at home. However, these baby hooded towels are just really cute. They come in all kinds of designs and patterns. I think the idea with a baby hooded towel is that it's meant to keep the baby warm when they're taken from bath to, outside of the bath. But at the end of the day, like it's not going to matter all that much because you're going to be working as quickly as possible to slap that diaper on and get baby nice and dressed so that they're not exposed for too long to the elements, I guess. Something to note with the baby hooded towels, we did receive a few kinds. We got some from Burt's Bees, which are really nice, but they're really, really thin. So I've actually kind of taken those to use to dry my hair and dry my face with. There has been, I don't remember what the brand is, and it was nice and thick and it was great, but it was also really small, and Theo grew out of being able to use that effectively really quickly. So just keep in mind, at the end of the day, your towels might actually be better than some of these baby hooded towels. All right, so let's talk about some toys for bath time. Something to note with suction cup toys, I have a bathtub that's kind of textured, so suction cups don't really work all that well. So just something to keep in mind with your bathtub. Also, any toy that's going to hold on to water is going to require cleaning because mold does develop inside of these toys, and that's just not going to be good for baby. So with that in mind, I really like these balls from Munchkin. They have little stuff inside, so they rattle, and they also float on top of the water, so they're kind of fun to look at and shake and listen to. Also from Munchkin are these foam letters and numbers, and they stick super easy to the wall with just a little bit of water. I really like these for even outside of bath time, and my son and I sing the ABC song in the living room while pointing to the letters. Definitely get some cups with holes. Theo has a lot of fun looking at the water coming out of the cups, and he also likes to grab the handle and kind of like scoop the water from the tub. And these are also really nice because you can use them to do the first few rinses of baby's hair and body. Theo really likes these swimming turtles. We wind them up for him, and then we put them in the water, and they just like flap their little arms and swim all crazy around the bathtub. So he likes to like try to catch them and try to figure out how to wind it himself. And finally, I have still in my wish list, but haven't purchased it because of the issue with my bathtub, but these like tubes and gears where you pour water and it causes the gears to turn. They look like a lot of fun. They get great reviews. I haven't used them, unfortunately, but if I could, I think I definitely would have purchased them a long time ago. Oh, and for Christmas, Theo also got these like fidget spinners, and he loves playing with those if we can get them to stick on the tub. Okay, so this next one I 1000% recommend that you register for, and that would be a kneeling pad and armrest pad, like an elbow pad. These do an excellent job of cushioning your knees and your arms against the hard surfaces of your floor and the bathtub. That makes such a huge difference, especially if you're older like me and you don't want to be hurting a few hours later because you were kneeling on the floor. And the funny thing is, this thing wasn't even on my radar, and it wasn't until I saw it on my cousin's registry that I thought, okay, this might be a good thing to have since he's on his third kid. And the kneeling pad is really nice because it does fold up in half, so it takes up a little bit less space. But we also used the kneeling pad when my son couldn't reach the high chair, the footrest on his high chair. We used the kneeling pad to give his feet something to rest on until he could reach the footrest. And the other nice thing about it is that the elbow pad has pockets on both sides, so you can put washcloths in there, a comb, a brush, some toys. It's built really well, been very good. We've been using it for a year and a half now, so I again 1000% recommend this thing. And even though I do recommend it this much, it is something that you can DIY, so you don't necessarily need to register for it. You could use a couple of folded towels as your cushion for your knees and your elbows. You could use an old pillow to rest your knees on. So there's definitely ways to DIY this, but it is very convenient to just have it there and sitting in your tub to be able to use whenever you want. All right, so I think that a pitcher is also optional because you probably already have something similar at home, basically just a big enough vessel to hold water to do that final rinse on baby's head to make sure nothing else is left behind and to get off all that bath water off of their hair and body. The one we got from Skip Hop, it's okay. And honestly, the more I've used it, the less I've kind of liked it. So this particular pitcher has a lip on it so that you rest it on baby's forehead, and then you tip the pitcher back, and supposedly like the water only pours out the back and not the front. And to be honest, Theo moves around so much that I've never been able ever to use it like that. I just basically have to try to pour it slowly over his head, and he really dislikes that. If anything, I would actually register for and actually have it in my cart right now is this particular pitcher from Frida Baby. This one has the option to control the flow of the water, so the water can come down like a nice like shower or like a big old waterfall, I guess. And it also seems like it might hold more water than the one from Skip Hop. But another feature that I'm seeing about the Frida Baby pitcher, I feel like there's less of a chance for accidentally spilling it, because the one from Skip Hop has this like curve and you can only fill the water up to that point because that is the lowest point in the pitcher, and you have to be careful that it doesn't tip over and accidentally spill, which has happened to my husband husband a few times. So I think I've convinced myself to buy the one from Frida Baby, and it's also really inexpensive. So the final item that I recommend you add to your baby registry is a spout cover. And basically it's just going to cover your spout so that when baby's moving around, they bonk their head against the spout. It's going to be cushioned because it's made of like silicone or plastic or something that's relatively soft compared to the metal spout. And trust me, there's going to be several head bonks. The one we received is also from Skip Hop. It matches the whale picture. This one actually has worked really well, and my son likes playing with like the little fins on this side. And I also learned while doing my research for this video is that the tail can also be used as a hook. All right, so that brings us to the end of this video. If you have any questions or if you feel like I left something out, please feel free to leave that in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!